Hi. Oh, it's me? Is it you? Is it me? Is it you?
Usually been you.
All right, it's going to be
on
me.
The pod.
It's going to be May. It is May 1st, by the way. So, hey, you guys know what time it is. If it's May 1st, it's about 5:22. It's time for one more sleep. The reason why this one's a big one is because, I don't know. It's a CONCACAF final berth on the line. You know my voice. It's the scarf. J.R. Liebert, and sitting right next to me on the internet, but really far away from me in real life, is one Christian Philemon. Philly, I feel like all we've done is talk about these two teams for about a week and a half now.
Yeah, we've had a nice, very rare break from the action on the weekend, and we got lucky, quite honestly, because we were supposed to have had a game against the Houston Dynamo. That got rescheduled, but obviously this falls into our favor because Philly was off as well. So needless to say, both teams should be fresh, neither of which has played since the last time these two teams met, and oh, what a choke job occurred in Chester, Pennsylvania.
Oh, man. First of all, can we talk about the other semifinal real quick? The Leon Tigres semifinal. They played again yesterday, having nothing to do with the CONCACAF Champions League. I think it wound up ending 3-0 to Leon. But these two teams will have played each other 3 times within like 9 days. It's absolutely incredible. The scheduling that Liga MX, and Liga MX said, no, we won't move the game. You'll just play a bunch of kids that won't play in the Champions League semi. So it was incredible. We were watching that yesterday. Not quite an entire break, right? With LAFC 2 playing yesterday, they have come so close to their first victory. They were knocking on the door, but couldn't quite find the back of the net. We've got LAFC night at Dodger Stadium. I'll be leaving right after this to head over to that. You just told me it's Dustin May bobblehead night. There's going to be 56,000 people at that game tonight. It is going to be absolutely miserable. But Philly, we've got this match at BMO to look forward to. We've been looking forward to it. It's been, 8 days since these teams last played each other. A 1-1 draw in Philadelphia. And now we get them on our home turf. This is going to be a good one.
It's always a good one between these two teams. The Union have never beaten LAFC. LAFC's never lost to the Union. And these last few games, just tie after tie, just sweat after sweat, anxiety after anxiety. I forget exactly who said this, and if I figure it out, I'll mention it. But MLS just needs to replay these teams over and over again, and that would make this league blow up because the excitement is palpable. I mean, I would say Philly is, without a doubt, becoming a rival in the Eastern Conference. No game has disappointed. The only time LAFC ever came out with a sure as hell we beat the crap out of you victory was season 1. Ever since then, it's just been tie after tie, and obviously the MLS Cup final was right down to the wire. Thank you to the penalty kicks, and thank you to some god-awful penalty kicks by Daniel Gazdag and some unbelievable goalkeeping by John McCarthy. But this is going to be an epic one, man. We want to get to that Champions League final. They want to get to that Champions League final. We've already been to that promised land. They have not, losing the Club America in 2021 in the semifinals. So no love lost between these two teams, and I would say that the Sons of Ben have it out for the 32-52, and the Philadelphia Union certainly have it out for us.
Yeah, look, they've always come up just a little short when it's come up against LAFC, and obviously we hope that's going to be the case this time. Again, this one is back at BMO, where we have played all but one of these matches, right? Other than our first one in Philadelphia, right? And then everything else has been here other than this last match, the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions League. Philly, we have it's safe to say that if you've been listening to Defenders of the Bank, if you've been a fan or a supporter of LA Football Club, then you obviously know the matchup and the players on both sides. So why don't we just get right into it with our our players to watch, eerily similar in some ways for both Philly and I. But I decided to go with something that I thought for sure Philly would have already, or one Christian Philemon would have already gone with already. And that is an all-German players to watch, Kai Wagner and Timothy Tillman. Kai Wagner is the definition of do right now. 15 assists to lead all Major League Soccer defenders and set a new record last season. He is currently sitting on 0 in MLS play right now, and that makes me a little nervous. He is as good of a passer from the back line as there is in the sport of Major League Soccer. I am watching Kai Wagner because I do believe Philly is going to be throwing bodies and numbers forward. They don't care if they lose this game 4-3, 5-4. They are going to be trying to score. And there was a player that we were sorely missing the last time we took the pitch, and that was one Timothy Tillman, and I cannot wait to get him back in the starting lineup. Jose Cifuentes, you were my player to watch last match, and watch indeed. It was all I needed to see to be able to say we have to get Timothy Tillman back in the starting lineup along with Kellen Acosta and Ilie Sanchez. So an all-German twosome, giggity, Timothy Tillman and Kai Wagner, my players to watch.
Jetzt geht's los, as the Germans would say. As far as my players to watch, on the Philadelphia Union side, hey, LAFC is really good at converting the number of shots they take on target and scoring. And one player that they're going to have a rough time against is Andre Blake. If there's anything that's going to happen, Andre Blake is going to be the one that prevents his team from winning or losing this game. I mentioned on the last pod, I mentioned for the other Champions Leg match, that Andre Blake was third in terms of most saves in the CONCACAF Champions League. Third with 11. At that point, John McCarthy had 32. Both keepers had 4 saves apiece in the matchup last week in Chester, Pennsylvania, but Andre Blake is a man to watch out for. He's tough. He's as tough as they get, and LAFC is not going to sit back and just let the game come to them. They're going to go out there and press, and if they want to win, they're going to need to get it by Kai Wagner, obviously, but Andre Blake. Now, as far as the LAFC is concerned, well, great minds think alike, as they say. I, too, chose Timothy Tillman for a variety of reasons. The kid's just stinking good. It's number one, first and foremost. Timothy Tillman is good, arguably one of our most talented midfielders. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, in the next couple of years, you're going to look back on him and go, he's probably he's the best midfielder we've ever had. His technical ability, his patience, his passing, his IQ is off the charts. Dare I say, had Jose Cifuentes stayed in the game last week in Chester, Pennsylvania, I don't think LAFC wins that game. In the few minutes that Timothy Tillman played, he not only put a couple of his defenders, Leon Flock in particular, on ice skates, but he was the one that made that pass happen in the box that bounced off Denny Bouanga's foot and right into the capable legs of Kellen Acosta. Timothy Tillman is as good as it gets, and for us to be solid in this game, we have to have a much better performance from the midfield. And we have the best midfielder between the two sides, and that is Timothy Tillman. No disrespect to Ilie Sanchez and Kellen Acosta. I just like what I've been seeing lately out of Timothy Tillman.
Yeah, and Philly, I think the biggest storyline actually coming into this is the midfielder who won't be playing in this match, Jose Martinez, injured for Philadelphia. I think Jose Martinez is their most important player in the midfield. I mean, obviously they have tons of talent up front, but I really do believe that Jose Martinez, with how well he disrupted what we do on such a regular basis in that first leg, he did not even make the trip to Los Angeles. He was shown feet up in Pennsylvania, in Chester, PA, or actually, I think it's at Delaware. To be perfectly honest, in his Instagram tweet or whatever. You can't tweet Instagram, old guy. Geez, sorry. Ignore everything that Scarf says. You don't tweet on Instagram. But
you're poking on MySpace.
I'm doing something, that's for sure. Oh my God, I just became old man. Get off my lawn. Let's see.
What do you mean just?
The keys to the game. I said we tweet on Instagram. Oh, all right. My keys to the game are 2 very, very simple keys. Number 1, we must bend but not break. I think that this has been our format for the entire season. We have had clean sheet after clean sheet and solid defensive performance after solid defensive performance. And look, the bottom line is this. If we allow the Union to score, we are in trouble in terms of advancing. Away goals is the first tiebreaker. We obviously hold the lead in the tiebreaker, but all that helps us to do is to be able to keep this game 0-0 and still advance. Any other tie score either brings up PKs or worse for our club. So I think, Philly, if you polled 100 people that watch LAFC in Philadelphia, 0 of them are going to say that this game is going to end 0-0. You and I are absolutely going to agree with those people that say it is not going to end 0-0. So if we don't think it's going to end 0-0, that means our defense must continue to have that bend but don't break mentality. If not for a Kellen Acosta handball, we would actually be going into this leg up 1-0, in my opinion. Our defense played incredibly well. Aaron Long was fantastic. Murillo, once he didn't have to see Jacob Glesnes or Julian Carranza anymore, I think he was doing quite well. He had a bit of a rough start, but our defense has been what has carried us through. And that kind of leads me to my second point, and that's to value the ball. There were far too many times where we turned it over with a lazy pass or trying to make too many plays out of just one play. We need to value the ball, string our passes together, stop trying to do the 2 or 3 line breaking pass that leads us into getting countered on quite a bit. Hold, control, dominate possession, dominate the ball, take the air out of it. And if we can defend the way we defended last leg, and if we can control possession, dominate the ball the way we need to, and make pass after pass, not turnover after turnover, we are going to be in the CONCACAF Champions League final.
I like it. I like it. I'd say as far as keys to the game, we need to play our own, but we haven't really played LAFC ball in the last 2 games. I argued say that the game against the Union and the game against the Galaxy weren't our best performances, but alas, we still walked out with a tie and a win. So for my keys to the game, we'll start with the first one. We have to play much better out of the midfield. I mean, there were a couple of occasions in which Ilie Sanchez was able to connect and get the ball into Denny Bouanga. That was fine. But needless to say, I don't think the midfield was exceptionally effective within this game. We certainly got lucky as the game started falling towards the end of regulation, but we're going to need much better play out of Ilie, much better play out of Kellen, with no handballs in the box, obviously. And I think with Timothy Tillman in the game, I think we're going to make up for what Jose Cifuentes has done. And I don't mean to badger the guy. The guy is highly talented, highly effective. There's just something missing to his game right now. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or whatnot, but Timothy Tillman's obviously going to give Jose Cifuentes a run for his money. And if there's anything Cifu can pull out of this, is the idea that Europe is not going to happen if he continues to play the way that he does. So if he wants to get a spot back, he's going to have to rise to the occasion, and that's only going to make our midfield that much better. And like you said, got to limit the mistakes, man. They're going to catch us trying to snooze. If they're going to look to catch us on the counter, because that's what they're going to do. That 4-4-2 diamond, they're going to press us hard, and they're going to look to stifle us with as much as they can in order to get that mistake that's going to lead to that counter goal. As long as we can control the ball, control the midfield, and continue to convert in the way that we have between shots on target and goals scored, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, Philly, I think you and I are just finding different ways to say the exact same thing with that second key. I believe. No, but look, it just proves how big of a point that's going to be moving forward in this match. I really do. I completely agree. The fewer turnovers we have, the more we control the ball, the more we move forward. And Philly, of course, if we are going to move forward, it is going to have to be because of a victory, because you and I do not believe this match is going to end 0-0. And Philly and I actually don't share our score predictions or any of our keys or our players to watch. So you can expect there to be usually a lot of differences between what we predict for the score. That being said, I'm going to go with a 2-1 scoreline. And Timothy Tillman, you and I had a conversation yesterday at the LAFC 2 game. So I know for a fact Timothy Tillman is going to score one of these 2 goals against Philadelphia tomorrow. I am predicting Timothy Tillman and Denny Bouanga find the back of the net. And you know what? I'm going to say for Philadelphia, it's going to be that 6'6" monster in the middle. He's going to get his head onto one of those corners or free kicks, and it's going to be a little too late. I think it'll come maybe after the 80th minute. It'll give us all the agita, as my grandmother used to say, that we could possibly handle. It's going to be 2-1 LAFC, and you can book our ticket not to Tigres, but to León. I'm calling it, baby. We're going back to León.
Regardless of where we go, it's going to be Mexico, and it's going to happen. Now, we're not going to just sit back and allow this game to just unfold. We're going to continue to go out there and play LAFC football, which is attack, attack, attack. That being the case, 0-0 will not be the scoreline. And look, I don't think I have the the ability or the heart or just the patience to deal with another shootout. We're going to win this in regulation by a score of, producer McPandas, bless me, 2-1. 2-1 LAFC. Scarf and I, like he said, we didn't talk about this prior. Nope. I gave this to Panda earlier. Scarf gave this to Panda later, and here we are, 2-1. I don't predict LAFC to go up 2-0 with Philly scoring later on. I predict it's going to be 1-1. I'm not even going to go out on a limb and say who's going to score first. But I like what you're saying with Timothy Tillman. I say he's going to get an assist in this game, and the other goals are going to come by way of Denny Bouanga and Carlos Vela. Why not? You stick to your big guns. You stick to the two players that are arguably your best and your biggest scorers in this CONCACAF Champions League. And we know for a fact that when Carlos Vela was taken out of the game last time around, he was not very happy. And if there's anything that we can say about Carlos Vela is when he's pissed off and angry, that's when he plays his best. When he's calm, cool, and collective, he's a little too chill. But when he's pissed off, he's going to do something. And I think he's going to come into this game pissed off. So he's going to get a goal or an assist. It'll be 1-1, and then LAFC is going to pull it off. 2-1, and then I don't care if it's León or Monterrey, man. I just want to get down in the CONCACAF Champions League final. I would prefer it to be against Tigres in Monterrey because, you know, payback is a B, and revenge is a dish that's served cold, best served cold. We go down there and kill that cold-blooded tiger and put Gignac out of his misery. That's what I want. LAFC Tigres in the finals.
Listen, having never been to Monterrey, I'm 100% in. I want it, but I think León's going to find a way to hold on. I think León's going to find a way to figure it out. I think León is going to do what they need to do and surprise Tigres. Tigres going into this up 2-1 on aggregate. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. By the way, we had a wonderful time in León last time we were there. So all four going back to León. They have a wonderful supporter section as well. But Philly, I can't wait. You got me nervous, man. Now you say it's going to be 1-1 and we get one. Dude, I'm going to be standing in the back. I know Panda, your wife, will be pacing around back there with us. It's going to be a whole thing. Nina and I mean, we're holding hands half the time if we're tied. I mean, it's going to be a whole thing. So, dude, I can't wait, man. It's going to be so much fun. I'm headed off to Dodger Stadium for LAFC night. I'll let you know who throws out the first pitch. If I can get there by the first pitch, we'll see what happens.
Good luck.
Oh, my God, 56,000 people for a Dustin May bobblehead. He's not even playing that well right now.
Well, keep in mind, there are a lot of people that'll buy a cheap ticket and just get the bobblehead and bounce. So yeah, you're going to have to deal with them getting in. You might not necessarily have to deal with them getting out.
Well, you know what? They don't have to deal with us getting out anymore. We have finished one more sleep. Philadelphia Union, second leg, CONCACAF Champions League. And I think this is where we get the cool guitar riff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.